So now I've taken in some black, yellow ochre, green, brown and some darker colors, and let's come over here and just drop in some action of water. So just like that. Afterwards we'll go ahead and add in the ripples. So now I load up my number 2 fan brush with a lot of white. Loading a lot of paint is also important. Okay, it should be chiseled. Let's come over here and just drop in. Look at that, how I move my brush. Okay, something like that with there, and this is a basic way to do water action. Okay, just like that over there, and some over here too. Okay, something like that. So now I've taken in a darker color, and I'll just go over the places where I don't want that thing to show up. That make it look very quiet. Just like that. Now I just went ahead and dropped in some green color there. I just potted green into this water part, just so that it stands out the dark against the light. So now with the darker color of this, I've added in some black. Let's go ahead and reflect all of these. I am assuming that the sky is clear. Okay, just adding some reflections, and make sure when you reflect things, and if it's a still water, the bottom of this should not be defined. It should not be that well defined. By that you can make it look very realistic. That's just like that. Don't want to cover up everything. But I'm changing the angle of the brush, and I use the same fan brush to paint in this green part. Then let's go ahead one more time like that. With that picks up the texture of the paper or the canvas if you're painting on a canvas. So now I've taken in some black, and just at the starting of that reflection I'll just reflect these, and to make everything look consistent I've added some black on these plants too. Just like that. I find this one a bit tall, so I'll just bring this out like that. With that, it's that easy. Use very little paint and make sure that you follow the same shapes approximately which is there above. Now I've used some black and white, and maybe let's come right over here and drop in the eye of the wave. Now I'll show you how to paint a crashing wave. You can use this in your ocean paintings and seascape paintings. Okay, taking more of that color, and don't make it look like a straight line, make it a bit slanting. That will make it look realistic. And maybe let's take that it's crashing over here against the rock, and don't use pure white because we need something to pop out, and the surface is white. Okay, just making it look irregular and very rushing wave. Now without cleaning the brush, I went into some turquoise color made from green, cobalt blue and lime yellow. I've used sap green for this. Okay, something like that over there. And as it's going to come down, it'll get darker. So now I've taken in some black and brown, and I'll just go with these. Okay, something like that. Now with my filbert brush, I'll just go ahead and blend these two together. Okay, something like that. Let that dark come into the lighter areas. If you feel there is not much paint on the brush, you can always add in more of pressure. So I can always go back and brighten up that. So now with a grayish blue color, without cleaning the brush, I'll just go over here and try to blend all these together. Go very lightly, gently to get that soft blending. Something over there like that, and same thing over here too. You just like that. Now with some lime yellow and cobalt blue again, with my number 2 fan brush, I'll just go over here and drop in the eye of the wave, and I'll switch over to a filbert brush for the blending. You could make use of even the blender brush. Okay, something like that. So now I've tinted my white with some blue, cobalt blue again, and load the brush full of paint. Let's come right over here above this one. I've tinted it with blue, just just creating some sort of circles. So just like that, and then maybe another wave over here, and not everywhere, just like that. And load the brush again with some white, and just dropping that color right over there, just the same way we did that. And this is the foreground stuff. I'm applying decent amount of pressure. That gives some sort of connection between the wave and the water on the land. Do something like that, and just like that. Now with some brown and white, going very gently here and there, just here and there, to cover up that unwanted water parts. Okay, something like that. And some over here too, and make the corners look very dark, as they're going to come off from the light source. It'll get darker, and to be consistent, I'll take that darker color up there. So just like that. So now with some blue and white, I just went ahead with that to make this stand out. Let's just create some ripples just like that over there. Just a bit of ripples, just like that. Make sure that the backdrop is wet so that you can blend them. I'm gonna make another one there. Maybe I want more of contrast, so I'll just drop in another one there. And I'm still using the number 2 fan brush. Make this a bit blurred. and misty. Yeah, just like that. So now I've rinsed my brush in water, and I'll just go ahead and blend these all together. That's just like that. Just trying to cover up those. And to make it even more interesting, I'll just go ahead and add in some darker color at the corners. And as they're going to come forward, the size of that will decrease. There's something over there too. And just giving it a slight blend, barely touching the surface. And same thing over here too. Now with my detailed round brush, you could even make use of the script liner brush or the rigger brush, and I'll just go ahead and give them a bit of lip. Here's something over there, and even this one gets it. Just follow the shape and do it, and you'll get that, and that adds some depth. Make some parts thicker, some parts thin, skip some spots. Okay, and over here too, I'll just add in that. That's just like that. And some over here too. That's the main part because that's there almost at the center. So now with my tree texture brush, the bristles of this brush are stiff. I'll go over here, and I'm doing this when the paint is dry, the underpainting is dry. Just changing the angles, just changing the shapes. Okay, something like that. And if you want to blend it, just touch it very lightly, and since it's darker there, I'll not make it that bright. There. The main focus is on the center part, but of course if you want to make it look realistic, you're gonna have to add some light there, some light. That time everything will fit together. Okay, and a slight touch here and there. Look at that, instant crashing waves. And you can get that over the rock and blur that, creating some mist. But do that in the very end, because you don't want to get that color over here. Now with another tree texture brush, and just pull out some waves back there, and maybe if you want you can just add in some waves there too. Okay, something like that. Now we've loaded this same brush with some white, and let's go over here and just brighten these ripples of water. Here I'm just creating some ripples of water, making the tip of the of those ripples brighter. That's it, not the entire ripple. Okay, something like that, and blend them considerably well. Look at that, rotate the brush. Don't know which part of the brush is very well loaded, so rotate the brush and experiment with that. Okay, something like that. and some over here too. So now with more of white paint, I'll just come over here and play with this a bit. Just slant the brush and push it. That will give you that blurred effect and it'll make it look realistic. Something like that. But don't do that, don't push it like that. When it's tacky, the paint underneath might come off. Something like that. Now if you want to, you can just create that separation between that eye of the wave and the water part. Look at that, just like that. If you want, you can create it, otherwise you can just leave it as it is. Just like that, the same way we did this. Okay, look at that. So now I've taken in more of that lime yellow and blue and touch of white, and I'll just bounce that color here in order to make it brighter. Okay, just like that. So with this, I come to the end of this tutorial. I hope you have enjoyed it and thanks for watching.